Hi, what's up? Welcome back. Doing a little follow-up video on my most recently one, where I talked about awakening, your awakening journey, and how you approach to your friends and families. I got an interesting comment from a guy who said that he respectfully disagreed with what I said, and I just wanted to maybe kind of clear out my message a little bit, because I felt like maybe it didn't come out as exactly I wanted to. One of the complaints he had about, or what he didn't agree with me, was that you shouldn't stand your ground. You shouldn't stand for what you believe in and what you know. You shouldn't just be this pushover. And so I just wanted to clarify that that's exactly not what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about you should be a pushover in the sense that people just walk over you because you are afraid to speak out. You're afraid to stand for who you are, what you know, and what you believe in. And that's not the case. I'm not talking about that. My approach to this whole scenario more was in the way that just because we have come to an understanding of certain things and we have experienced things, but it doesn't even have to be that we have experienced things, because a lot of the people out there, most people actually know things. They believe things. And it's a very incredibly huge difference between knowing and believing. And I said this many times, but that's why belief has a lie in the middle, because it's not the truth. So we just think it is. When we get into this this awakening path, when we collect a lot of new information, and we hear a lot of people, they say the same thing, and we see all these posts on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and stuff about, the elites and all this kind of stuff, is that we just assume that it's the truth all the time. And the more people we get together, the bigger an impact we can have in the world. But we often forget that most of the things that we hear and most of the information out there, we will never know for sure in our direct experience. We only believe it is like that. That's why I say it's kind of a waste of time to put so much focus on that, because you can't do anything about it. And when you kind of get to the point where your ego thinks that it had become such a powerful entity, it will kind of always want to project it outwards to other people. So my message, what I wanted to say, is that I don't think, through my own experience, this is what I've experienced, it's not the best way to go. You can of course say to people what you think, what you know for sure, but I noticed that I rather pick my fights, so to say. That's what I told him in the comment, that I pick my fights rather. I kind of want to feel out the environment, feel out the person I'm talking to. What kind of energy does he or she has? How is he vibing against me or towards me? Are we on the same level? Does he have an open mind, or her? Because if they're very close-minded, what benefits would it get for neither of us if I just pour out information that he never heard before? I mean, sure, I can say to people, when I'm talking to them, hey, look at the sky. Do you see all these white marks in the sky? That's not natural. Because if they were, they would disappear from the airplane, because that's condensation, but they're still there. There's something wrong. There's something weird, don't you think? Or you say that's a strange phenomena. That's you leaving a clue. That's you you're sowing. And that's a totally different thing. I like to go with that approach, to just sow information and make them think for themselves, instead of me just telling them certain things, because that's usually where the arrogance comes into the picture as well. That we are so certain about things that we automatically think that everyone will understand us, but they don't. Definitely if they're not open-minded, definitely if they're not ready for that type of information. And it's not going to do any good, because usually when people get faced with that, like I said, they hit cognitive dissonance, they will put up this wall and they will start resenting you. And this will be putting tension on the relationship instead, which is not ideal. I don't think no one wants that. And that doesn't mean that you are a pusher or weak. That's you being smart, observing the situation, observing who you're talking to, and what are the trade-offs here. What are the benefits for you just expressing whatever you want outside? Because I learned that in the beginning of this journey, that's exactly what I did. I did it many times. I said it. I sent out private videos to people, because I wanted them to look at it. But why would they look at it? They're not ready. They're not there yet. When they might be curious. I had some people come up to me afterwards some friends who said that. I remember you said a couple of years ago this and that, and it's kind of interesting because that happened now. And I said, okay, yeah, I'm glad you thought that through, and you kind of took that information into consideration and to marinated on it. That's amazing. That's really good. I applaud you for that, because that's the whole point. So that's why I more like the approach that, so for people, put up clues, leave clues after you, make them curious about things. And we can take so many examples. Like, also one of the comments was about the jab, about people forcing it on people that you should take it. I have a friend. He had an issue with his family. They didn't want to meet up with him if he didn't take it. It was on that level. They didn't want to hang around with him anymore because he wasn't protected. It's ridiculous, to be honest. It's pathetic, but that's the reality for many people. When people are acting from fear, a fearful state of mind, they're acting in front of. They are afraid for what's going on. They don't understand how it works, and that's how people project it outside of people. And that's tragedy. That's so sad. But we can't do much about it. They have to come to the place for themselves that they're willing to, first of all, marinate on information, and then apply it and be able to see it from a bigger perspective, from a bigger picture. But if they don't do it, we can't do anything about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a person who just wants to stand your ground all the time and say exactly how it is to everyone in your path who you meet. Because the thing that most of the time is going to happen is that they will be even more close-minded. Like I said, if they're not ready, they're not going to take information, and it doesn't matter how honest you are about them. They're not gonna bother with it, and they will create, like I said, resentment. And they will more likely be even more protective against that kind of new information from outside. So this is my own experience, what I learned. Maybe you have a different experience than me, and maybe it's from culture to culture, country to country. Obviously, I mean, it can differ. I'm not saying that. This is what I've noticed in my country, and I know we have a different mentality here than some other places, obviously. So it's nothing right or wrong here. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying what I think is right. But I appreciate the comments. It's nice. I also like when you give feedback and when you challenge the videos. That's great, because that means otherwise I wouldn't do this video and give a little deeper explanation. Because I think the guy was also wanted to mean that you should be your authentic selves, and that's 100% true. That's always where you should be. You should stand your ground, you should be who you are, and you should express yourself. But I think we can be smart about it as well. And just because we deep inside we want to express, I don't think that's the right way to go. It's better to say a little too little than too much. I like to go with that approach, to be a little more careful with how much you're pushing the pedal. So you're kind of what do you say? It's like a little metaphor. Like when you drive in the car, you kind of push and brake like this. So you're kind of filling off the flow a little bit. I think that's a better way to go for both parties, to be honest. But sometimes I can feel like I wanted to have said more. I wanted to express myself in a different way. And we should never be afraid of doing that, obviously. We should always the thing is also if we know things, we have experienced it, and we actually know the truth behind it, it's a total different thing. Because you can't argue with truth. So, yeah. But like I said, most of the times we don't even know things. We think we do. We believe things. And this is kind of this is a fucking disease in our society. Too many people are believing things. And I think that's not the way to go. We will not change anything if we're having that viewpoint and that kind of mentality to always believe things. We have to know it. So I hope that this video cleared the message out. And like I said, thank you for the comments. I really appreciate it. So Hope you got something good out of it. We talk soon again, so take care now. Bye.